Through this program, Holiness in the Pauline Family, we, the daughters of St. Paul, wish to bring you our pioneer Paulines, men and women who have gone before us, spreading the fragrance of good news through the modern means of communications. The Pauline family consists of 5 religious congregations, 4 secular institutes, and 1 association of Pauline cooperators. The first congregation, Society of St. Paul for Priests and Brothers, was founded in 1914. A year later, Blessed James Alberione, the founder, began the feminine branch, namely Daughters of St. Paul. All the other institutions came into being at a later stage, as and when the founder felt the need of the contemporary society. Though everything was clear in his mind, he prayed over his initiatives and sought advice from his spiritual director in all his ventures. Our pioneer brothers and sisters have traveled in time and history, experiencing poverty and challenges on the way. Today, we take pride in their accomplishments in different parts of the world as we render our services in 53 nations, the fruit of their hard work and commitment. What we want to focus here is their unimaginable strength and courage that sustain them in spite of their weak physique, in spite of their lack of academic preparations. They have contributed much. They have proclaimed the good news with zeal and love. They have sowed seeds of love and enthusiasm for the Word of God. What motivated them to forge ahead to their goal, in spite of the obstacles that they faced on their way? Let us meet them one by one, and we hope that you will be inspired by their journeys.
Welcome to the program Holiness in the Pauline Family. Today we shall meet one of the first Pauline family members who offered his life for the spread of the good news through the media. He is Riccardo Borello. Riccardo Borello was born in Mango, 8th March 1916. Mango is an agricultural center at Alba in Italy. His father was Joseph Stanislaus, a farmer and a sacristan, and his mother, named Julie Greta, was a housewife. He had a sister named Maria. The difficult moments Andrew experienced from his young age made him a mature lad, trusting his life in God's hands. Riccardo lost his father when he was 8 years old. His father died fighting the First World War. He grew up with his mother, an elder sister. In January 1925, his mother remarried and they moved to a new house. Although young, Riccardo assisted the stepfather in the field work. Borello grew up manifesting special love and devotion in his life. He collaborated with every initiative promoted by the parish priest. He was loved by his companions because of his loving, generous, and friendly nature. The parish priest, noticing Borello's enthusiasm and diligence in participating in the parish life, soon admitted him to the First Holy Communion. At the beginning of the 4th elementary class, he encountered the first obstacles which strengthened his character. his naughty companions made fun of him because of his simplicity. They invited him to bunk the class and to play with them, but he did not give in. This determination in a 10-year-old child manifested his capacity to face great challenges of life in the future. In 1933, Andrew was 17 years old when he lost both his parents within a week. His father died of pneumonia and his mother died as a result of heart failure. He found himself completely alone. His sister had by then moved to Turin. In immense pain, he accepted in faith all that came on his way and consoled his sister Mary, encouraging her to surrender to God. As the days moved ahead, Andrew was drawn towards a life of consecration. One day, the parish priest who had appointed him as the leader of Legion of Mary gave him a copy of Majorino Vigulungo's life, the first member of the Society of St. Paul, who died at the age of 14. The congregation was founded by Father James Alberione in 1914 with the mission of evangelization with the means of communication. Reading this book, Ricardo was convinced that the most effective way of loving one's neighbor and of growing in holiness was to dedicate one's life through the apostolate of social media, which has the greatest influence on society. And so, at the age of 20, on 8th July 1936, he entered the Society of St. Paul. Borello intended to put all his energies at the service of others, in a form other than the priesthood. He wished to be a religious brother, as he did not feel called to be a priest. From the very first days of his entrance into the institute, he was enthusiastic and grateful to the Lord for his call. He embraced with full responsibility the task of the new life, prayer, study, and apostolate. On 19th March 1937, he received from the hands of the superior, Father Timothy Jaccardo, the religious habit. On April 7, 1938, Ricardo took the vows in the hands of the founder, Father James Alberione. He received the name Brother Andrew Maria Borello at his profession. Brother Borello was very happy when during the day he was able to make short visits to the chapel and pray for an increase of priests and religious dedicated to the apostolate of social communications in the church. He never complained about the fatigue, the suffering, and the pain that came on the way. He could withstand everything with a calm and serene faith. He was assigned to work in the paper mill. After 3 years of work in the paper mill, his health began to reveal some of the signs of illness. Brother Borello tried to hide all the effects of his ill health with his usual smile. The superior, who aware of his physical condition, proposed another job. He was assigned to the shoemaker's workshop. For him, it was a joy to serve the community with his humble shoemaker service. Spirit of reparation is an important aspect in the life of every Pauline. Brother Andrew lived his mission of reparation in prayer with prolonged hours of adoration with the daily faithful exercise of the way of the cross. At times, he had to do night duty in the paper mill. Of his work in the paper mill, he once said, "Yes, I'm going to do this, which is a bit heavy. Every pile of paper that we lift and the sheet of paper on which the Word of God will be printed will be brought to people. I do everything for the glory of God." Borello every day after meals retired to the chapel of Pietà, almost hidden, and stayed alone in the company of the Virgin. When someone looked for him, would find him praying there. One day he asked his spiritual director permission to offer his life as a sacrifice to the Lord for the perseverance of vocations. A few days before his death, Brother Borello welcomed the visit of the spiritual director. His condition was rather serious. Even on this occasion, on the threshold of eternity, he could reiterate his generous and total offer, renewing religious vows. He always prayed, and he was often found with the rosary in his hand, in prayer and in union with God. On September 4th, 1948, he thanked the sisters of the pious disciples and all those who assisted him. The attending physician who had witnessed that passage could not restrain himself from the profound impression that he said, "This is a great wonder to me." He died smiling. Thus, Andrew Borello entered his eternal reward. From heaven, he would watch his congregation using every new invention in the communication media for the spread of the gospel. During his lifetime, he would remain for hours at the gates of the churches with the liturgy sheets for the spread of the Word of God. May His spirit of enthusiasm enter our lives too, and may He guide us from heaven to use every new invention in the media available now for the spread of the gospel. He was proclaimed venerable on March 3rd, 1990.